Hello everyone, I'm Ascendance from 4FS Gaming, and in this video I will explore the secrets of the B3 Wingman pistol. Now this gun is an interesting one. It's a favourite from OG Titanfall, and everyone loves a good old revolver pistol. However, it's also a very weak weapon at the moment, with a poor time to kill, even for sidearms, and it is very unforgiving if you do miss your mark. However, if you know exactly how this weapon works at different ranges, you can still make the most of it, as those trying to grab the stoic black camo for all guns must find themselves doing. There is a really interesting use to this gun that I will explore later, after we run through its capabilities. Okay, so first off, this is a secondary weapon. It cannot be equipped in the primary slot. It has a clip size of 6, which can be improved to 8 by taking the extended magazine perk. The Wingman is a hit scan weapon, meaning the bullet has no travel time. It does however have dynamic bullet spread values, as denoted by the crosshair's size. Crouching and sliding will tighten the spread to almost 100% accuracy, while walking, sprinting and wall running, or even jumping, will increase that spread. Don't be put off by the large crosshair bloom while taking these actions, because it still seems that more often than not, the bullet will hit where that dot in the center of the crosshair is, almost all of the time. It should be noticed that the gun has perfect accuracy when aiming down sights, with absolute zero spread or deviation regardless of how you are moving. So far it sounds like a pretty top-notch weapon. The next aspect of this gun is probably where it gets most of its problems, which is the number of shots that it takes to kill and its damage. We can see that the Wingman's optimal range bracket is out to 35 meters from the target. Within this range, a body shot will deal 40 damage, and a headshot will do 80 damage, due to the powerful 2 times critical damage multiplier. This means that at best, you will require 3 shots to kill an enemy, which is a lot for a gun that only shoots 2.6 rounds per second. If you land a headshot, and then a follow-up shot, whether this follow-up shot hits the head or the body, it will confirm the kill. After 35 meters, the damage starts to fall off, but it falls off quite slowly, and you will only really feel the effect at around 55 meters, where the body shot damage is now 32, and the headshot damage is 64. This means that it will now take 4 body shots to down a target. Even with a headshot, you will need 2 additional body shots to confirm the kill. If you are skilled or lucky enough to hit 2 headshots, you will still kill at this range. The next point where the B3 Wingman suffers from range is around 60 meters. This is where the damage flattens out again, with 30 body damage and 60 headshot damage. There is no range fall off after this point. Now we also know that most weapons in Titanfall 2 have a range at which they can no longer register critical hits. For the B3 Wingman, this is at 63 meters. Beyond this, there are no more headshots, and it will take 4 body shots to kill a pilot. Remember though that this weapon can also be equipped with a silencer, which will reduce its damage even more. Base damage will be reduced from 40 to 30, so even at point blank range, you will need 4 shots to kill. Even if you land a headshot for 60 damage with the silencer, you will need to land another headshot or 2 more body shots to confirm a pilot kill. However, the silencer doesn't really get much worse the further away you get from your target, and deals 25 damage minimum, so it will still need the 4 shots, and thankfully no more. For those interested in the difference in sound and visual effect between a silenced Wingman and a non-silenced Wingman, this is what it looks like. Here we have the normal Wingman, and here is the silenced Wingman. The takeaway here is that the silencer makes the gun worse up close, but beyond 50 meters it will more or less behave exactly the same, except you will not appear on the radar whilst shooting. All in all, if you land 2 headshots, you will kill a pilot regardless of the range drop-off, or whether or not you were using a silencer, as long as you are close enough to the target, within 63 meters, for the headshots to actually trigger. So to help you land those crispy headshots, you do have access to some precise class aim assist, but as usual, only when you are in motion. The range of this aim assist is increased as you aim down the sights. The sights themselves can be a bit confusing, but you kind of want to place that little bump in the middle directly over the target's head in order to proc a headshot, and you may wish to put a reasonably high sensitivity on when you're using a gun like this, so you can get those flick shots when enemies are in close. Now before we move on from shooting mechanics, I want to examine the weapon handling. Here we can see that the base reload of the B3 Wingman takes 2.1 seconds. As with most sidearms, there is no bonus for doing a tactical reload by fully emptying your clip before reloading. If you have the speed loader perk, you can actually reduce the speed to 1.47 seconds, which I really recommend for this gun. The time it takes to ready and fire the Wingman is a snappy 0.4 seconds and cannot be decreased any further. Like all sidearms, the ADS speed is a lightning fast 0.2 seconds. Now this can be halved again to 0.1 seconds with the quick aim perk. Now in theory this means you can actually aim down the sights and out again 5 times fully each second, but realistically nobody should be able to pulse the trigger that fast. The last thing to touch on here is its damage against Titans, which is 250, so at least that's not too shabby. So right there is more or less everything that we know about the statistics of the B3 Wingman. But before I discuss this gun and how it is best used, please subscribe if you want to see more from 4FS Gaming, and like this video so I know if this kind of analysis is working for you guys. Alright, so this gun is pretty bad. Getting 2 headshots sounds like it should be pretty possible and achievable, but it is actually really hard to land those headshots quickly, especially when under fire. Even more so when most weapons in the game can cut you down pretty efficiently in about half a second. I recommend running with speed loader and extended magazine, because ammunition economy is very important for a gun with only 6 shots as a base. Now even though it is more or less worse than every other gun in the game, it does have a really niche place. Seeing as though the Wingman Elite is moving out of the sidearm category, the B3 Wingman will now be the only weapon that you can pair with a shotgun that can strike to longer ranges. If you are running a primary with very limited range, the Wingman is the only gun that allows you to hit and damage a target 70 or 80 meters away with any amount of reliability. Now that damage will not be much, only about 30 per hit, but at least it is something if you need to mop up a wounded pilot or farm some grunts without losing your position. Oh, and before I forget, you will need a headshot to kill even a grunt, so this really isn't a great gun for frontier defense either. If you are trying to be really competitive and win and do well, you will generally not find yourself using this gun at all. But I did mention at the start of this video that I had a really interesting use for the Wingman up my sleeve, and here it is. So, while out there gathering footage for this video and forcing myself to use the gun, it made me much more aware of my movement, crosshair placement, and use of my tactical and ordnance abilities to outplay my opponents. As such, I reckon that this gun is actually quite strong as a training tool. If your gunplay is not on point, and your movement is not tactical and skillful, you will be unable to use the gun effectively. But if you think about all of the tools that you have at your fingertips while playing Titanfall, your slides, wall runs, abilities, you can actually use this gun to explore the tactical potential of your gameplay. If you are an experienced player that wants to put their skills to the test and improve without using a stronger, easier weapons to get out of sticky situations, try using the Wingman B3 for a bit, and it will force you to think more, move more, and play smarter. Or it could just make you extremely frustrated at how much of a meme this gun has become. Now up till now I have not mentioned the actual intended use of sidearms, which is to whip them out and finish off a kill that your primary didn't have enough ammo for. If you want to use a sidearm for this purpose, use one of the other ones. They simply do a much better job of close or mid-range mop-up kills than the B3 Wingman. And that right there brings us to the end of this video. For those wondering about our Cold War Grenadier analysis, it is still kind of on the way. We're getting there with that one. It's churned out pretty tricky to test all of the values. But until then, please find us on Twitch, linked below, for some more streams throughout the week. Until next time, have fun with the new meta.